Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the Chair Log. How's it going, guys? Yeah, I got some serious stuff to talk about today. For this video, I'm going to take the role of a mentor, guitar teacher, life coach, and that's why I'm wearing this garb right now, which, speaking of that, I need the final touch. One moment. Does this match at all? Does it make my hair look immediately greasy? I don't know if I should wear this the whole time. I'm gonna take this off. Sorry, guys. I don't know if I actually want to wear that, but I will be grabbing this right here. Oh god, it's been a day, huh? Yeah, I took a little trip to the gas station. You know, I'm trying to watch my calories right now. Don't make fun of me. But yeah, as you guys know, I tell this story very often. I'm either doing this or I'm making fun of people. I am a guitar teacher, as you guys know, which, like, send me an email for lessons, all that stuff. That's not what this video is about. This video is about all of the guitar teachers that I've released into the wild, because I put a sign-up link for Outschool, which, if you don't know, Outschool is the teaching platform that I used between, like, late 2020 up until 2025. I taught my last Outschool student like a month ago or so, really. And Outschool has provided me with students, and in that, I, as a classical guitar loser soul, have been able to live a pretty comfortable life. Comfortable as in, like, I'm working my butt off. Like, at the height, I was teaching 86 students. But at that time, I was making, like, a good amount of money. For someone like me, being, like, an early 20s, like, recent graduate, brought in some money doing that. And in that, it's allowed me to sort of loosen up on finances, like, into my mid-20s. It's given me the courage to kind of take on other endeavors that maybe don't make money, but potentially will in the future, and sort of go all in on them and maybe work more on those, but they're more like passion projects. Like this whole YouTube channel, for example, is a big passion project that has only finally now started to pay off. And I would not have been able to do that without teaching for several years full-time. Now, for a lot of people, they want to teach full-time like I did, but how do you find students? So yeah, I've been sharing my link for making an Outschool account. By the way, it'll be in the description of this video too if you are interested in teaching guitar or anything. You can actually teach anything on Outschool. They don't care. You can teach kids how to use Minecraft Redstone. Someone's giving these kids too much allowance, you know what I'm saying? Guitar is mainly what we're focused on here. If you're an advanced guitarist, especially if you're studying in university and you're like 18 to 22, let's face it, you probably don't have a whole lot of money, you're in university. Your options are getting like a part-time job somewhere, making pizzas like I did when I was in school, or just doing something like that. If you can teach on Outschool, even if you're making less than the average guitar teacher does, you're still doing way better than your peers. So definitely, if you're in university as a guitarist, you should try to teach for many reasons, which I'm going to get into those reasons here, because the whole reason I'm making this video right now is because I got an email from Luca. I'm not going to say your last name, but your first name is Luca. What's up, Luca? How's it going? Let's read what you sent me in confidence, out loud for everyone. You said, "Hi, Cameron. I wanted to get in touch with you about your teaching on Outschool, as it's something that I'm thinking about doing myself." Okay, I like the sound of that. Did you use my sign-up link? I'm 18 and about to go to university in a country that Outschool allows. I'm not going to say your country. For music, and your primary instrument is classical guitar. Sick, dude. Sounds like you have a bright future ahead of you. Do you think that I have enough knowledge to be teaching on Outschool? I feel like imposter syndrome is requiring me to ask you about your experience and your opinion to feel sound and at peace with starting to teach and take students. Imposter syndrome never goes away. But something that I've learned in my life is that whenever opportunities present themselves to you, and like this is within reason, I'm not talking about like scams right now. Don't get yourself scammed. But whenever you have an opportunity to take on some kind of work and it scares you a little bit because you don't know if you're actually ready to do it, just do it. And I promise you, you will figure it out. Like, if anyone ever asks you, can you do this job? Just say yes. Because what's gonna happen? Like, what's the worst that can happen? You're gonna, like, struggle and figure it out? Or what, you fail? Like, what is really failing at the end of the day, you know? Like, you're gonna find some way out of it, and, like, worst case scenario, you're gonna do kind of a bad job, but you will have learned stuff at the very least. You are kind of inexperienced right now. And maybe not even as a guitarist, but as a teacher, of course you are. I think that it's important that you start teaching to some degree at some point, and Outschool is great because you can just take on one student. Like, after you get one, you can, like, close it off and just teach one. If you feel that you did that bad of a job, you can always just refund them the money and just be like, sorry for wasting your time. That was like the worst guitar lesson ever. So it's pretty low risk when it comes to someone being ripped off by you or something. What I would recommend to you for your first students, just set your price kind of low. When I started teaching in Outschool when I was 22, which these weren't even my first guitar lessons, I was teaching in university for the last year or so. Even with that experience, which wasn't much experience granted, I was charging $25 for a 30-minute lesson, which is pretty cheap. That's like very, very cheap. And this was like a few years ago, and I think as of this filming, that would be like an absurdly low cost for a guitar lesson. If I paid $25 for a guitar lesson, I would assume that I'm not learning anything. I'm paying just to talk to somebody at that point. So yeah, I mean, you could just set your price like kind of low, like 25 bucks, and then just take on 2 or 3 students and just have them for a few weeks, build up experience, and you slowly scale it, you know? You figure out how many students you want, and you slowly scale it, and you learn to manage it over time. But yeah, like if we're talking about pricing, if it's your first lesson, I think $25 is fair. And that's after the Outschool cut too. They take 30% of everything. So really, for an hour of teaching, you're gonna make something like $35 per hour if you're charging $50 an hour, like $25 for a 30-minute lesson. I was charging $50 an hour for a long time. And then I raised it to $29 after that, and eventually, like after a year had passed, all my students were at the $29 mark. And then finally I went to $33, and towards the end of my Outschool career, I would fluctuate between $33 and $40. When I didn't want more students, I would put it at $40, and I only got like a few students at $40, and when I wanted more students, I would put it at $33. So I don't know how the rest of you who have signed up for Outschool feel, but I definitely understand your concerns, Luca, not knowing if you're going to be like a good teacher or not. I have taught a lot of first lessons. I've taught at least 300 of them, which like that's a funny stat to throw out. If you teach too many first lessons, it's like, well, how many of those students did you keep? Did they like run away after the first lesson? No, after 4 years, I've taught 300 first lessons, and people drop for whatever reason, you know. I didn't teach like 1,000 first lessons, guys, chill out. But my point in saying that is that I have a decent amount of experience teaching a first lesson, especially the first like 5 or 6 lessons. I have them pretty much laid out, and they never really change, and I accomplish what I want to accomplish with them, and I feel like they work pretty well. So here's what I'll do. If there are any new teachers, like if you signed up with my Outschool link and you feel a little like insecure about actually doing your first lesson, I am going to be hosting a seminar. It'll be in early May. I have a lot of stuff going on in April, but sometime in early May, if you want to learn a little bit about how I would approach teaching a kid classical guitar, and you kind of want to maybe base your first lessons off of this, because I think they're pretty solid and I get a lot done. There will be a group seminar, and guess what? You can find the link, ooh, you're gonna hate this, on my Patreon. Oh man, I just want money from you, don't I? That's right. It's valuable information, okay? Here's the deal. You sign up for the Patreon, and then you wait for the seminar to happen, and then you just leave the Patreon, because I don't want you giving me money if I'm not going to do another seminar like in the next month, or if I'm doing another one and it's something that you're not interested in, or if it's like the same one again. So if you want it, just sign up for the Patreon, consider it a one-time purchase, and then just dump it after you go to the seminar, and I won't be upset by that. Just do it. But that's the paywall that I'm setting up, because Patreon's just kind of easy. And the seminar, it's going to cover how I would teach a first lesson, and I'm going to tell you like all the language that I use and go through all the cues on like how to move your right hand and stuff. Cover everything that I cover in a first 30-minute lesson. And then I'll also probably skim over the first 5 or 6 lessons and give you like the resources that I use, like what books I like to use, and kind of explain why I like them and stuff. And then after that, I'm going to try to keep it between like an hour and an hour and a half, but there will be a Q&A where you can ask me about like particular situations if you're teaching someone. Like you come with a question and I'll answer it for like a few minutes, and we'll kind of go through a few like that. I don't know how much it costs yet. I don't know when it's going to be, but it's going to be in early May. Yeah, that's on my Patreon, so go ahead and sign up for that if you want more details. The date's going to be set by the time this video comes out, so don't worry about that. Yeah, and I'll mention it a few more times before then. If you want to catch that and hear how I would teach the first couple lessons and then potentially ask me some questions, feel free to join that. Yeah, and that's where we're at. I charge for my time. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, and of course, if Luca, if you made it this far, just send me an email and I'll send you the link. You don't have to sign up for my Patreon. But everybody else, you gotta pay. I promise I won't be drunk for it too. Boom, that's a sore hands promise right there. Yeah, I'll keep it classy, don't worry. You guys keep it classy too. Don't do the old Omegle trick where you well, I won't even mention it. I shouldn't speak it into the universe. Alright, well that pretty much covers everything. I am going to finish this beer and practice some guitar. Whoa! Yeah, I'm not going to play anything for you today. The next one will be a practice log. I'll play then. So, you know, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out in an email if it's anything like this. Join the Patreon for the How to Teach a Classical Guitar First Lesson Seminar. Date to be announced, but you'll find out in the Patreon. And of course, head on down over to Rootin's Delight for the merch that I'm not wearing, and I'll see you in the next one.